on going live today. That's why this is going to be short and sweet, because there are forces working against the people right about now, and they think they can get away with some shenanigans, and I can't do that. I got a shenanigan radar. It's built in. Yeah, I can sniff some shenanigans a mile away. And so maybe you haven't heard, but the audio of Donald Trump speaking to a reporter has been leaked mysteriously. So we need to get to the bottom of that real quick. So we're not going to be here long, like I said. If you got a few minutes, check out the show. First of all, let me make sure y'all can see and hear me. Okay, everybody, mic check one. Okay, I see some people chiming in. What's up, Dallas? Molly, what's going on? Yeah, because this is such a damning audio rather, that we have to really listen to it and decide whether is it worth it. Do we still hang in there with President Trump after hearing this very, very crucial audio clip that came out that might jeopardize national security and might show that Donald Trump was a bad actor and he's trying to sell maybe some documents or some classified stuff to the Russians or something like that, maybe to the Martians? We have to check it out, because this is what they're basing their whole, I guess, indictment on, this audio clip. So as you come on in, first of all, if this is your first time checking out the show, hit like, share my videos, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Feel free to participate in the super chat, or I also have Cash App, PayPal. If you ever want to support the channel, you can do it through that. I also have an alternative channel. I'm logged in under my alternative channel right over there. It's called Stop and Think About It. So please subscribe to that channel as well, so we can get things going on both channels, just in case they don't like what I'm talking about over here. You dig? Now, before I even get into my intro, let's listen to the mysterious, leaked, damning audio tape that Trump has with this reporter. So check it out.
It's sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
No, it started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in. That's right. Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came out. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. We looked at him. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him.
Interesting. Now, I'm trying to figure out what's the most dangerous part of this audio. So first of all, it sounds like he's talking to a reporter, and he's mentioning that Milley and the military was gung-ho about Iran. They wanted to attack Iran, but yet they made it seem like it was Trump that wanted to go ahead and do it. Now that makes me scratch my bald-headed dome, for the simple fact, when they had those jets on the way to retaliate towards Iran, it was Trump who stopped them by asking, wait, what's the estimated casualties? And he was saying, you know what? No, that amount of lives are not worth a drone. Turn them around. Now, understand, guys, when they thought they had Trump committed to going in to attack Iran, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer came out celebrating. Now, anytime they are excited about something that Trump is doing, then they're trying to set Trump up. If Trump would have committed to that war, it would have been a mess. Yet he used amazing wisdom and said, wait, how many lives could be lost versus a drone? Nah, it's not equal. Turn them around. So now here's Trump telling this reporter that they went out there trying to make it seem like it was all Trump wanting to go to war. And he's revealing the fact that these war hawks really was trying to go to war. They had it already. It was like, here you go, Mr. President. We can retaliate immediately. Let's do this right now. So Trump is showing how these folks wanted war. And he didn't want that, but then they're trying to make it seem like it was him. So let's continue, see if it gets worse, because I'm waiting for him to start speaking Russian or something like that. So far, no Russian. Okay.
All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Except it is like high.
Yeah, it wins your case in my heart because it lets me know that this mysterious phone call was doo-doo. I mean, this audio rather was doo-doo. So did y'all hear something? Notice what he's doing? A lot of rapid turns, a lot of rapid pages. Do you think that those people in there have the time to read through that in detail, to pick it apart? Sounds like he's just showing them that here is the document itself. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know about you. I'm not a speed reader. I wouldn't be able to make it through all those pages. So he's just showing you the evidence. Look at this. This is all them. They wanted to do that. He didn't say, here, take this home, study it, read about it. None of that. But yet they're trying to make it seem as if Trump is up to something by showing someone these classified documents that they can't possibly read or internalize. But nonetheless, I still got an opinion about this right after we finish listening to this damning audio.
Confidential secret. This is secret information. Look at this. You attack and
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know.
she'd send it to Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Oh, see, now that's what got him in trouble right there. He made a funny about Crooked, sending it to that pervert Anthony Weiner. They probably say, he can't talk about the Weiner like that. You know what? That's it. We're going to go ahead and have to indict this man.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? He's in the culprit. This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know, we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out a,
See, as president, I could have declassified.
Yeah.
No, I can't, but this is
Yeah,
classified.
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so, look, here and I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
Oh, I believe you.
Right?
No,
Hey, bring some Cokes in.
Bring some Cokes in. So y'all hear that? So now that right there is what they are hitching their wagon to and trying to convince us that this right here shows that this man is disqualified from running and should do 30 years in prison and blah, blah, blah. What do y'all think about that? Because, see, I have a couple thoughts and I have a couple questions. My first thought is, how did that audio get leaked? Yet the DOJ and whoever this prosecutor is swears up and down this is sensitive information, highly top secret, and he's sharing it with reporters. He's sharing it with reporters as they leak the highly sensitive audio with that top secret information right there. Just leaked it. So let me understand, the sensitive information somehow was leaked to the public. So you guys could leak it, but y'all don't want Trump talking about it briefly in a meeting with some, I guess, interviewers. That's it. Now, what I gather from this ain't news. This ain't something new. We all knew that they had put together a strike plan against Iran. He didn't go through the details. He didn't sit back and says, you know what, we had two F-22s and we had a couple, we were going to send in the SEALs through this, whatever. He didn't give no procedures. He didn't give none of that stuff. He's talking about the fact that the military, or at least the leaders of the military, several leaders, wanted him to do it and blamed him for wanting to do it. And in real life, he was hesitant. Now, to me, that shows temperance. To me, I'm like, that's great. We got a president that said, wait a minute, let's not do this. I don't think we should be getting our noses in a big fat war. Equal retaliation. I give him kudos for that. That's a great selling piece for Trump. But then I also want to know who leaked this audio. I mean, it was only a few people that had it. How did it get to CNN? Why they never leak those stuff to Fox? Stuff like that. They always leak it to CNN. Huh. Interesting, isn't it? And then my next question is, when are they going to leak that audio of Joe Biden? Why can't we get a leaking of that? Why is Creepy Sleepy never get his stuff leaked? But somehow that audio got leaked to CNN. Now, I don't know what they think is going to become of that audio right there. I don't know if they're thinking that this is going to change the mind of Trump voters or it's going to make us look at him differently. I saw nothing wrong with that audio. It sounds to me as if he's saying at some point, if this gets declassified, you could use this in your, in my memoirs or maybe a book. I'm not sure. But he didn't give it over to them. He didn't say, here, take this, put it in a book, whatever. He just simply showed them. I got all of this. Right now, it's not classified. Maybe one day it will be. That's it. Did he lose the file? Did any of these people walk away saying, man, I got a clear understanding of every procedure? As he flipped briefly through those pages, I was able to speed read and internalize that. You think that happened? So it appears to me they're trying to use this garbage, very flimsy garbage, to go after Trump for what? What? Espionage? Showing classified documents. He was able to have the documents with him. I mean, my question becomes, if he's the president and he takes a document home and a document when it gets home, maybe what is it declassified automatically? I'm not sure, but I will say this. I don't think, according to what I heard, without seeing what was going on in that room, I don't think that Trump showed them the document in a manner for them to take it, read it, process it, or sell it on the black market. It appears that he just briefly showed them the document to give them evidence that I was not the one trying to go to war. It was Millie and the crew, not me. Boom. There we go. And they think that that's going to turn everybody against Trump. They think that that little clip is going to make people say, well, that's good enough for me. I'm switching my vote, or Trump should be locked up for 30 years. Yet, Creepy Sleepy is running free. And this man has stuff going back to 1970, I think he said 4 or something like that. That's a long time. Was he vice president then? No, he wasn't president then. How's he have documents and stuff like that? I don't know. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to briefly go over some details about not Donald Trump and his corruption, but the most corrupt of all, which is Creepy Sleepy, Sleazy Slimy Sloppy Joe. And we're going to do this based on this montage that was put together. I managed to find several of them. This is going to walk us through the differences between how Joe's being treated and how Trump's being treated. We won't be here long, so let's get it. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Now, before we get started, let Mr. Teddy know that I'm in the room doing business, and I'll be right back. Hang loose for me for a quick second. I knew it was going to happen. It never fails. Oh, guys. You'll never believe what I just briefly witnessed as I went in there to tell my dad, I'll be with you in a minute. I heard the fake news and they're talking about this right now, the audio. I can't believe that he showed classified documents to these people. They're trying to blow this up. Somehow they're trying to spin this to make it appear that this right here is a serious thing right here, guys. But notice they're not talking about Creepy, Sleepy, Sleazy, Slimy, Sloppy Joe and his son and that WhatsApp. That WhatsApp. They ain't doing that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get into it and see what's going on with Creepy.
The idea that no person is above the law is a bedrock principle of American justice.
Yeah.
And it's being tested like never before now that Donald Trump is the first former president in American history to face criminal charges from the federal government.
On Thursday, June 8th, two massive political stories broke, but only one of them got covered by the broadcast networks.
What?
On June 8th, former President Donald Trump was indicted by the special counsel in the classified documents case.
Whoa.
That very same day, it was reported that President Joe Biden had allegedly received $5 million from an executive of the Ukrainian gas company Burisma, the same company in which his son Hunter was involved.
What? The
Guess
crackhead?
which one was exhaustively covered and which one was completely covered up by the networks?
I see this.
Holy moly. So 291 minutes dedicated to Trump and his indictment, and 0 minutes dedicated to the allegations of Hunter and Joe taking $5 million in bribe money. Surely the media doesn't have a motive, does it? Interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out what Elizabeth Warren has to say about it.
As we are showing one of the fundamental tenets of a democracy, that the law applies to everyone equally. No one is above the law.
Nobody?
Not even a former president of the United States.
What about Hillary Clinton? What about, let's see, Clapper, Brennan? Any of those guys? Page? Any of those people? Yeah. What about Joe Biden? There's a whole bunch of people I've seen that are above the law. How about crackhead? Crackhead's above the law. How many crackheads get off? That's my question. How many crackheads have millions of dollars to even be brought in for tax evasion? You know any millionaire crackheads out there running around, y'all? Huh? No? Okay. So the crackhead gets off, and he gets off with the gun charge too. And she's talking about nobody's above the law.
Anyone else who did these things would be prosecuted for them. We must ensure that no one is above the law.
Now you see the lady with the cock eyes? Yeah, the lady with those bug eyes. That lady with those dang on chameleon eyes. So here she is talking about above the law. This is the Democrats' motto when they want to go ahead and go after Trump and try to make him seem like he's the worst on the planet. It's always nobody's above the law.
Work is vitally important to this committee and the American people because no one is above the law. In America, nobody is above the
Look
law.
at that. Ooh.
No one is above the law.
Nobody?
No one is above the law.
Nobody.
This is the United States of America. No one is above the law.
Are you sure?
No one.
No one
No
is
one.
above the law.
Y'all hear that?
Because no one is above the law.
I wonder how they got these talking points. You think they're just all sitting there like, you know what I think would be a good thing to say today when I get the mic? No one is above the law. I had no idea. All 100 or so of the other ones would be saying the same thing. Or did Nasty Pelosi send out the talking points? That's right. Everyone, don't forget to say that no one's above the law. Except us, Democrats.
Because no one is above the law, and he shall be held accountable.
The indictments of Trump
Yeah.
prove that at least at this point in the process,
Right.
no one is above the law.
No person is above the law.
Garlic.
Nothing stops us. I don't know how to, maybe I'll say that again.
Oh, say it again.
No person is above the law in this country. I can't say it any more clearly than
Y'all hear Garlic talking about some no one is above the law. Except when those IRS people wanted to go ahead and go after Hunter Biden and you stopped them several times and you slow walked in. You was like, no, we ain't doing that route. No, except that guy. But Garlic's over here, no one is above the law. Except Antifa. Except Antifa and Black Lives Matter. And except all of those people who was outside those Supreme Court justices' house protesting and making noise and threatening them and all of that stuff, they were above the law. Even though they were very outspoken and left all that evidence on the internet for him to simply take a couple agents, not even a couple, one agent, let them sit down, go through their social media. They didn't hide their faces. Find them. They were posting stuff right there. We're going out tonight. We're going to go ahead and harass folks and stuff. All you got to do, go ahead, look them up, go pay them a visit. But instead, you dedicated all your resources towards going around tracking down all these Trump supporters that were just walking around outside the Capitol, and and then they came in. Some of them came in with the doors open. They weren't. They're not above the law, but the rest of those folks are. How about the illegal immigrants, Garlic? Huh? How they just come across our border? It sounds to me like they might just be above the law because I can't just walk across Mexico's border and live there. You think Mexico would give me free Vatican care and community college? Huh? Do you think that if I go across their border, they're going to ship me all around Mexico, put me up in a hotel and give me a cell phone and stuff? And somebody mentioned just now that Sasquatch, Bigfoot, tomorrow. We gotta go into the Capitol. Look, I'll say it. I might go to jail for it, but I'll say it. Tomorrow we gotta go into the Capitol. No, fair. Peacefully. That guy, he's still on the loose. Let's see what Adam Schindler says.
Nobody is above the law in the United States of America, especially the President of the United States.
Oversight Chairman.
Man, these people are hilarious. Man, that dude need to pull back on the actor. Nobody is above the law in the United States of America. I'm sitting there like, easy, Tiger. Pull it back a little. Don't go Captain Kurt on us. Nobody, Smug, is above the law. We must prosecute Smug. Good grief. Simmer down, man.
James Comer believes new bank records will show the Bidens accepted as much as $30 million from foreign nationals.
We spent so much time in the last 4 years talking about high crimes and misdemeanors, trying to shoehorn things into high crimes and misdemeanors to go after Donald Trump. You know what you don't have to shoehorn into?
What?
Bribery and treason.
Right.
And there's evidence of both of those things from Joe Biden.
What? So here they are bending and twisting and making pretzels and come on, y'all. All right, I know this looks stupid, but we're going to make it sound like it might be a violation of... They got to go ahead and go through all of those gymnastics to make Trump seem possibly guilty of something. But yet, blatant stuff sitting in our face with Joe Biden. Now, understand what these people are doing here. You're telling me you're bunny hopping over an audio tape of Joe being caught trying to negotiate some more money for him and the crackhead. You're overlooking the document that he got caught up in. You're overlooking that. Now we got a WhatsApp message that obviously is talking about Hunter and his dad. So we got Creepy and the crackhead. And he's talking about give us that money or else. Okay. And guess what? The money came. The money came. Now, isn't that odd? We don't even have to go looking hard to go after Biden and the crackhead. I mean, Democrats leave some obvious evidence laying around, and then these folks got to go and contort themselves to try to make it look like Trump is guilty for something. And they really think we don't see the difference. They really think we don't see the game that's being played. How did the audio get released? Who's responsible for that? That's my question. Funny how the audio didn't get leaked of Joe Biden talking to whomever about getting some money. Because, yeah, if audios are that easy to get hold to and leak, somebody should have got hold to that one. And it can't be like 30, 40 people to get access to that audio, especially when it's, going to be used in an indictment and whatever. Now, frankly, I think they were dumb to leak it because it makes us all listen to that and say, what? See, you know what? My feeling about what your motive was correct. That's a nothing burger. In fact, it makes me feel more confident about Trump making good, wise decisions in regards to war. And it shows that these folks was willing to take us to war for nothing. So I'm thinking that audio tape, when I listened to it, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Millie wanted to go to war? What? Thank goodness Trump didn't fall for it. That's how I see that. But yet they think that's going to what? Sway us? What it's going to be used for is the media to sway the bubbleheads. That's all it's going to be used for. They're not even going to be seen. They're not able to see the real part that should be emphasized in the audio that we just listened to. The real part for all of the liberals running around talking about peace, man, not war. That's the real part. The built-in cronies in Washington wanted to take us to war for nothing, and Trump didn't want to. They're not even able to see the contrast of with Trump, no wars. With Biden, now we all mixed up over there in Ukraine. See, they're not able to see that. All they're going to hear is how classified documents, Trump let other people hear it, listen to it, see it or whatever. Yeah, but it goes back to, if this is an ongoing investigation, shouldn't heads roll when it comes down to that leaked audio? Did CNN break into the DOJ and get it? Some intern got access to it? Who could do that? How many clips or audio versions of it do they have? I mean, did they just, all right, pass it out? All right, everyone, here's your version. Here, everybody got one. Take it home and listen to it. I'm sure a very small group of people can access that audio, and yet they don't know how it got leaked.
See, we're supporting
country. We want to make sure that country is honest. It's very important to talk about corruption.
So you would agree with me that if the Ukraine announced a corruption investigation of former Vice President Joe Biden, that would hurt his credibility as a candidate. Would you agree with that basic principle, sir?
Well, nobody.
Yes or no, sir? Would you agree with that principle?
Well, I slightly disagree with the predicate, with the premise of your question, because
Chairman,
we're talking about
I
Hunter
object to
Biden.
the question that requests opinion. The gentleman is not recognized. The gentleman has the floor.
Well, I object to the question.
Gentlemen-
Rule on whether the question's in order or not.
The question is in order. The question is in order. The gentleman will continue.
Why?
The gentleman will continue. It's his time.
If you look at what Biden did what they would like to have me do, except for one problem. I didn't do it. What Biden did is a disgrace. What his son did is a disgrace. The son took money from Ukraine. The son took money from China. A lot of money from China. China would love to see. They can think of nothing they'd rather see than Biden get in, because they will take this great deal that we're about to make, and they would really have themselves a deal for themselves.
Woo-wee. Now, you know they got to stop Trump, because Trump is fighting against the whole darn system. He's fighting against these globalists. He's fighting against the corruption of them using a small, broken, corrupt country like Ukraine to launder money through, to harass Vladimir Putin, to poke at Russia, going over to poking the bear. He didn't fall for that crap. And he called out the obvious corruption that we all knew was taking place. And for that, they impeached him, only to find out now that it was true. Interesting. So here's 2019. Trump's talking about his son took all that money. How did they get rich again? How did he get on that board? See, these are things that the media has never come out to even apologize about, because they're just now trying to slightly, since this new information came out about that WhatsApp message. Yeah, they talked about it a little bit on CNN. But guess what happened? Guess what happened, y'all? Soon as that came out, what also came out? The leaked audio. Now, isn't that amazing timing? Interesting, isn't it? So now, as I walked out of my dad's room, I no longer heard them talking about that dang on WhatsApp text. Now they're in there, all right, this is damning. This is quite telling right here. The audio that shows that Trump actually, you see how it works? They leaked that mess for PR coverage for the dang on WhatsApp. But it's cool. Trump, let's continue.
So let me just tell you.
Let me just tell you. Okay.
What Biden did was wrong.
Thank you. Oh, man, a few words. I love him. He set him up like he was going to give him a long dissertation. Let me just tell you. What Biden did is wrong. And walked off. Summed it all up. What he did was wrong. That dude deserves to be indicted for a whole heap of crap. But they're going after Trump for this audio that I listened to and don't have a problem with. Oh, okay. Wait, what's this? Uh-oh. Biden's bribe tapes.
Vice President Biden, as Ukraine point man under Obama, bribed the Ukrainian government with $1 billion US tax dollars.
What?
Biden's bribe was designed for one thing: to stop the investigation into his son Hunter and Burisma Oil, the Ukrainian company paying Hunter Biden $83,000 a month to simply sit on its board.
Shama. Woo. Hikamasai. Coming on the Honda. That's speaking in tongues type money right there, y'all. For doing nothing. You think Hunter was over there? Like, all right, wait a minute, guys. I think we need to really look this through here, because if we're pulling out energy out of the ground at 7 quarts per liter, and we got a Ultratron and flip the trip to running it through the pipeline, we need to. You think that dude knew anything about this? He was over there probably sitting in a chair like mine, spinning around while they do the real stuff. I would have loved to have been over there and listened in on those meetings when the engineers come up. We have major problem with the pipeline. We need someone's help. Hunter, tell us what to do. The pipeline, there's just not enough room for gas to go through. What should we do? Where's the gas go? The gas goes through there. Okay, how much goes through? Can we just push it through? No? Okay. How about we just build a whole new one? He don't know what the heck is going on over there. And guys, unfortunately, here's my dad. I think he forgot already that I told him I was working. Yeah, I think he did. Let me go ahead and check. Okay, listen to this though, real quick. I'll be right back.
But rather than acknowledging any of this, the media played cover-up for Biden, stating it was all conspiracy theories and Russian propaganda. Shokin, they said, was a corrupt prosecutor general and had to go.
No other explanation for why Joe Biden, a vice president in Washington, would suddenly want some local prosecutor fired. He claimed European...
Why did he care?
He claimed the European Union was behind it. They wouldn't know anything about this little case.
Joe Biden and his son are corrupt.
For fact's sake, despite
That's
President
true.
Trump and Rudy Giuliani's repeated allegations against the Bidens, no evidence of wrongdoing tied to his son Hunter Biden's
Right on,
Ukraine
Don.
business has actually been found.
What? Now y'all hear the PR firm coming out talking about, in spite of all the lies and stuff about Rudy Giuliani, he's up there making up stuff. They're going after Hunter, and Hunter's innocent. Did you hear the recent one? Hunter Biden and Joe and all their corruption really is a love story, y'all. It's about love. That's what it is. A father's love towards his son. Really, it's about the love of money and power. That's what it's really about. So, yeah, media was covering. They demonized Giuliani, demonized Trump, saying he was up here trying to get dirt on his opponent, all of that, only to find out that it was all true.
You understand what quid pro quo is, correct?
I do.
You understand what asking for something in exchange for something actually means, correct?
I do.
You know about the conversation of Mr. Biden when he asked and he said, I'm not going to give you the $1 billion. You know about that conversation, correct? You want me to read it to you or do you know it?
One second. Are you talking about in 2015?
No, I'm talking about the one from the national, where you did
Which one you meant?
I'll read it to you since you're having trouble. I said,
You hear that guy? He's trying to play like it was like 7 of them. Wait, which one? Was it the one that, okay. You got to refresh my memory. Everybody should know it. We all heard it. We all watched it, just in case you didn't. If you're new to the channel or you're new to politics and you're wondering what this is all about, this right here is the arrogant bum in the White House thinking that this never will come back to bite him as he boasts about having a prosecutor removed so his crackhead son can continue making $83,000 a month for doing nothing.
said, nah, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have authority. You have no authority. You're not the president. The president said, I said, call him. Laughter. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm getting ready to be leaving here. And I think about 6 hours, I looked at them and said, I'm leaving here in 6 hours. If the prosecutor is not fired, you're not getting the money.
Whoa.
Well, son of a bitch, he got fired.
Whoa, that sounds almost like that WhatsApp text message that Hunter was on there with the Chinese. Listen, I'm sitting right here next to Creepy, okay? All right, now you don't want Creepy and the crackhead to be mad. Now you better follow through with that stuff we talked about, or else I'm going to hold a grudge. And so will Creepy. Yeah, they're talking reckless. They are talking like gangsters. Mobsters, y'all. But nobody's looking into that. That audio tape that we just listened to with Trump was just, it was way worse than all of this evidence.
Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
This Creepy.
Did he or did he not? Either Joe Biden's a liar, telling a story to
That's
make people impressed, or he actually did this.
Both.
Which is it?
He did it pursuant to U.S. official policy.
So he did it in
What?
withholding actual dollars, actual thing, holding this out there. So Joe Biden, of everybody that we discussed about, is the only one that's done a quid pro quo. He's the only one that's used taxpayer dollars to actually threaten a foreign government. And yet we're sitting here pretending that this is not happening. We're sitting here pretending that a president of the United States now would not be concerned.
Now, Shokin, what?
Now, did y'all hear that? Remember. Y'all remember that Trump got, him had gotten impeached for that. Trump had gotten impeached for that. So now let me understand this. He did it in line with U.S. foreign policy. Is that our policy, to have other countries fire prosecutors? You think maybe England can call over? Hello, I'd like to speak to Joe Biden, please. Yes. This is the king of whatever. Now listen, I don't like that prosecutor you have. I want you to fire Mayor Garlick. You think that we would go, okay, that right there is interfering in foreign affairs, their sovereignty. What made Joe feel like that particular prosecutor needed to be fired. Just so happened he was looking into the corrupt company that your son was working for. Now, why would you allow your son to work for a corrupt company in a country that you're over? That shows a lack of wisdom off grip. Why would you take your crackhead son with you over to Ukraine? That's my question. You're telling me you didn't question his judgment? Son, what are you doing? Working for Burisma. You know, that's my country that I'm saying. Or is it I took that country because I knew that country was vulnerable for corruption? I could get some out that country, and I'll use my crackhead son to help me launder the money to me. Could it be that? You know, because my thinking is if it's U.S. policy to work with a country, and if that country has a corrupt prosecutor, then we demand that the prosecutor is fired. Then why not all the other countries? Why just Ukraine? Do you know how many other countries that the U.S. works with that most likely got a corrupt somebody in it? I don't recall us going around getting folks fired. And then the connection is my son works for the company that that prosecutor was looking into. Nothing to see here, though. Interesting. Huh.
Was fired. President Trump claims Vice President Biden's ultimatum there is the real crime here, but there's no evidence of that. In fact, PolitiFact and the Washington Post both investigated this claim, and they found no wrongdoing on the part of Vice President Biden.
It is hilarious. They must have not looked hard. They just opened the door like, I don't see nothing in here. Boom, close the door. You had to. I know what happened. I know what happened. This is what happened with the media. You know what? I've looked at all of the evidence, and I can't seem to find any of the evidence. Ma chérie amour, lovely thing. They put the Stevie on. I don't see nothing here. They put the, oh woman, why you do me this way? I'll be back on my feet someday. Well, I guess if you say so, I have to pack my things and go. That's right. These folks had the Ray Charles going on, talking about some, we looked into, there's no evidence of anything. Couldn't see nothing.
On behalf of the U.S. government and our allies, including Europe, who wanted the same outcome.
The awkward coincidence in taking issue with Viktor Shokin at this time was the fact that Viktor Shokin's office happened to be investigating Burisma Oil.
The global community wanted that prosecutor in Ukraine fired because he wasn't going after corruption. And he wasn't investigating Burisma, by the way.
2 months later, on February 2nd, 2016, Prosecutor General Viktor Shokin's office seized Burisma founder Nikolai Zlochevsky's property and assets.
That's the month in which Shokin, who supposedly wasn't investigating anybody, that's another Biden lie.
And he wasn't investigating Burisma.
Oh, really?
That's another Biden lie. Raided Burisma. And put them under arrest.
So wait a minute. Why didn't the media bring that up, huh? Why didn't they try to impeach Biden after knowing about this? Nobody? So let me get this straight. Rudy Giuliani was right the whole time. He really was looking into Burisma as that bald-headed guy right before him. He wasn't looking into Burisma. So you wanted a prosecutor fired for nothing? I mean, let's be honest. If it wasn't for him looking into Burisma, you think Joe Biden would have cared about that guy? See, but you know what? These are just things that we all knew, and yet the fake news didn't know. How is it that we knew this? How is it that Trump was impeached over this? Why aren't the folks who took him through that impeachment trial begging and groveling at his feet now that we all found out just what Joe was involved in and his crackhead son? We know Creepy and the crackhead is always into some shenanigans. Let's continue.
The owner of Burisma, who was crooked as all get out, Zlochevsky, was afraid his business was going to be taken away.
Yeah.
And he brought Biden in for what he had bribed Biden to do, which was to fix the case for him.
Let's revisit our interview with Shokin back in Kiev.
Shokin.
I asked Shokin why he resigned, and he affirmed what he had sworn in a 12-page affidavit. He was pressured to resign because his office started seizing Burisma assets, and in the process began to unveil Hunter Biden's involvement in illegal money laundering. My conversation with Poroshenko on this, Shokin says, was in a phone call. It was after we started seizing Burisma assets in Ukraine when Poroshenko called me and said, listen, this all has to stop already. Joe Biden's temper is overflowing. This seizing of Burisma assets, said Poroshenko, was the last straw.
Creepy was getting mad? Why was you getting mad, Creepy? Huh? That ain't got nothing to do with you. What goes on over there in Ukraine with that corrupt company shouldn't have nothing to do with you. Why you getting mad, Creepy? Because it was interfering with your money laundering deal. With your crackhead son making $83,000 a month. As you lied and said, no, he wasn't even looking into Burisma. He just got fired because he was corrupt, I think. More corrupt than you? You're the most corrupt of all. You corrupt corruption. Corruption is like, man, I thought I was corrupt, but Creepy done corrupted me more than I am already corrupt. So we find out that he did fire him. Get him fired. Interesting.
Shokin says Poroshenko then paid him a visit in his office, asking for Shokin's resignation.
Wow.
Shokin responded and asked, why do I have to go? I haven't done anything wrong. I'm doing my job. This is standard procedure. We have reason to freeze Burisma assets. And Poroshenko said, Biden is angry about you freezing Burisma assets.
What?
I'll figure something out.
So Biden was angry about him seizing Burisma's assets. Didn't say nothing about corruption or you're not doing a good job or you're going outside your purview. Nothing. It was simply he don't want you seizing their assets because the owner of Burisma said, Biden, hook me up and I'll hook you and your son up. Do you see how it all works? But they're talking about Trump's audio right now, though, so these things don't matter.
Now, the media and the Biden campaign slammed this account when it was first broadcasted, accusing Shokin of lying and arguing ad nauseum that Biden had Shokin removed because he was a corrupt prosecutor.
That's why.
The following conversation,
So the corrupt politician is lying about a prosecutor being corrupt. Isn't that ironic? Wow. Yes, do exactly, point the finger at your opponent and tell them they're the ones that's doing it, but it's really me. Unbelievable. You know how the Democrats roll. All projection.
Dated February 18, 2015, appears to show Poroshenko admitting Shokin did nothing wrong, but was forced to resign anyways, at Biden's request.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Your call is reconvened. Spencer, can you hear me?
Yeah, that was better. Oh, I have a
I like this phone call.
news for you. Yesterday, I meet with the General Prosecutor Shokin.
Shokin, okay.
And despite of the fact that we didn't have any corruption charges.
What? In spite of the fact that he didn't have any corruption charges.
We don't have any information about he doing something.
We don't have any information about him doing something wrong.
I especially asked him, it was the day before yesterday. I especially asked him to resign.
I especially asked him to resign. All on behalf of Creepy and the Crackhead. Interesting. But we're looking into Donald Trump's audio tape though, right? Okay, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? And what else?
1 hour ago, he bring me
written
statement of his resignation.
Wow.
Great.
This is my second step for keeping my promises.
And if you listen to
Unbelievable. You hear Creepy talking about some great. Why is it great, Creepy? You just heard the last president say the man has nothing. No corruption. Didn't do anything wrong, but because of you, okay, I went ahead and asked for his resignation. And Creepy's response is great. Why wasn't it? What? Wait, whoa. Well, then if the guy didn't do nothing wrong and he's looking into corruption, even though my son is making $83,000 a year working for a corrupt company, leave that man alone. Let him do his job. Why didn't Biden do that? That's unbelievable. But the media didn't cover none of this crap. That's crazy.
the transcript, the guy basically says, we have no gripe against this prosecutor, no evidence. We did what you wanted. He said, I kept part of my promise here. So he's saying Joe Biden told him to do it.
In front of the Council on Foreign Relations, Joe Biden is dumb enough to brag about this, okay? In front of the Council, the biggest gossips, arguably, between New York and Washington, D.C.
What was the most astonishing about these recordings is the direct evidence of treason and government betrayal.
And he gets right up there and said, oh, look at me, I got rid of this guy. And the guy was scratching their head. Who was the head prosecutor of the Ukraine, which at that time was a relatively unimportant country. Really? I mean, come on.
Completely.
At that time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just idiotic. It's like Tony Soprano saying, hey, I just had a guy killed.
Right. Just right there in the open. Now, see, if Joe was smart, his butt wouldn't have said that and it wouldn't have brought any attention to it. But he didn't think Trump would get in and push the bar on that. If he'd have kept his mouth shut, instead, he's up there boasting, always trying to be something that he's not. Yeah, I used to be in the Navy. I had a football scholarship. I rescued a whole busload of orphans going off the cliff. And I fought one-on-one with corn pop to the death. He's always exaggerating because he's really garbage, but he pumps himself up. So here he is out there thinking that nobody's going to look into this because, you know, we all corrupt and we're not going to look into each other's corruption. So when I throw this statement out there, it's going to sound like I have pull, even though he was just the vice president. See, yeah, he never was okay with just being the vice president. So he had to, you know, pump himself up a little bit. Well, son of a gun, I said, call him. Man, what happened? Son of a gun. They fired the prosecutor, not knowing that he was really laying the groundwork for an investigation against himself. Interesting how dumb he is.
Do that. Who would admit this in public?
Oh, rim shot!
One of the arguments that the Bidens make is that, but that prosecutor was corrupt. Maybe he was, but that doesn't mean that what you did wasn't bribery.
That deserves another one. Even if the prosecutor was corrupt, that doesn't mean what you did wasn't bribery. Now we're finding out that it was bribery, y'all. It was. Now, guys, I ain't done with my go through. See, this right here, this whole segment right here is going through and showing the history of the corruption, how it led all the way up to where we're at now in this corruption. Biden is dirty from the rooter to the tutor, along with his crackhead son. And yet the media is trying to switch the narrative to go after Trump. And they're doing two things. They're trying to tell us, yeah, forget about that WhatsApp message. Forget about that. It's very, very damning, and it's showing that he is the big guy and that he did know about his son's corruption. Forget about that. Because, see, we want to focus on a father's love for his son. Then number two, look at Trump in that audio. That right there shows he's a traitor to his country and he's abusing classified documents, which all of that is garbage. So tomorrow is Wednesday. That's my 2-hour show. We're going to be covering that and more. Be there, be square, y'all. Okay, I want to give y'all a little warm up. Now I'm going to go ahead and have to deal with my old man. Make sure he's okay. Make sure Teddy is steady. Feed him some spaghetti. Who knows? Might be ready after that. So don't forget, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. I got it bookmarked. This is where we're going to come back to starting tomorrow. Okay. God bless y'all. God bless America. We see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.